Hello and welcome to Football Daily, where today we're looking at 10 players set to unseat club legends in the coming months. How do you replace the irreplaceable? Let's find out. 10. Luis Diaz, Sadio Mane. The obvious place to start is with one of the biggest deals in January and Luis Diaz. The Colombian arrives in Liverpool after bagging 18 goals and assists in 18 games across the first half of the season at Porto. And at 25, and as a right footer playing off the left, it's clear that he's intended to take that position as soon as possible, potentially spelling the end of Mane's time as an undisputed starter at Anfield. The Senegalese is far from finished, with 8 league goals so far this campaign, but his shots are up and creativity down, while Diaz is growing into an all-round threat. He ranks in the top 1% of wingers for expected goals per game at 0.5, but among the top 15% for expected assists as well. And while we predict a backward step as he adjusts to the Prem, he's more of a dribbler than even peak Mane, beating his man 3 times a match. The only real question is over his defensive intensity, as he wins possession half as much as Mane, but with the 29-year-old at a 4-year low for pressures, even the difference there is shrinking. With Liverpool's only significant recent transfer mistakes the product of injuries, not poor recruitment, we expect Diaz to be another raging success. 9. Georginio Rutter, Kramaric. Hoffenheim's top scorer in 4 out of the 5 seasons he's been at the club, Kramaric has a claim to being the best non-Bayern attacker in the Bundesliga over the last 5 years. The Croatian has put up an incredible 119 goals and assists in 148 starts for 1 every 114 minutes, but could leave the club for free this summer, his contract expiring a fortnight after his 31st birthday. Fortunately, Die Kraichgauer can count on the services of French forward Georginio Rutter if they do lose their talisman. The 19-year-old, who joined from Rennes last year, has 5 goals and 2 assists in 6 starts at the time of writing, and is contributing to a goal more often than anyone else in the squad, while equaling Kramaric's 0.6 xG a match. Among under-21s in Europe's top 5 leagues, Rutter's 3.4 shots per 90 ranks second, but like Kramaric, he's not just a scorer, trailing his teammate in creativity, but placing in the top 10% for forwards for pressures, tackles and dribbles, all vital in the lightning-quick Bundesliga. Even if Kramaric stays, he's Hoffenheim's past, but in Rutter, Bebu and Christoph Baumgartner, the club has plenty to look forward to. 8. Michael Olise, Wilfried Zaha. At 29, Wilf Zaha is far from finished, but his time at the centre of Crystal Palace's attack might be. The Ivorian has led the team in goal contributions in 3 of the last 4 seasons, created the most shots in all of those campaigns, and taken more touches in the penalty area than all of his teammates. But for the first time in half a decade, he has rivals for Palace's attacking crown, in Conor Gallagher and especially Michael Olise. 20-year-old Olise is still to hit 20 appearances for the Eagles, but his talent is impossible to miss. Already, he and Gallagher are involved in more chances each game than Zaha, while he leads the team in key passes and is level with the number 7 for passes into the box. But most impressive is the way that everything runs through him, with more touches in the final third than anyone, about 40 to Zaha's 30, teammates targeting him more often, and similar ball-carrying ability to the veteran, matching him on 2 dribbles a game, but with a higher success rate. Admittedly, Olise has started just 4 Premier League games, giving him an advantage against tired defenders, but he's given supporters a glimpse of a future without Zaha, and it's surprisingly bright. 7. Donyell, Malen, Marco Reus. With 5 goals and 5 assists this year, Marco Reus is defying our expectations of a 32-year-old winger. But despite the positive top-line stats, it's clear the German is beginning to slow down. 0.55 goal contributions a match remains excellent, but it's his 2nd year at that level after over a decade above the 0.6 mark, while his shots have slumped to their lowest since 2010 and dribble success has dropped below 50% for the first time ever. In a league which is seldom kind to veterans, a succession plan is vital, and Dortmund are already grooming Donyell Malen for the role. Like Reus, Malen is happiest cutting in from the left, and while he's still playing catch-up to the icon with 0.4 xG per 90 to 0.6, they're even on shots and passes into the penalty area, while the Dutchman carries the ball forward more and into the danger zone over twice as often, a rate we'd expect to go up as the 23-year-old matures and adapts to a tougher and faster league. Like his teammate, Malen is deceptively strong, has a great burst, and is as comfortable creating as shooting. With Marco Reus's guidance and Haaland's likely exit bringing more responsibility, 2022 should be the year he blossoms. 6. Vinicius Jr., Gareth Bale. Madrid fans may balk at the idea of Gareth Bale as a club legend, but the Welshman has delivered 2 titles and 4 Champions Leagues across 9 years in Spain, as well as contributing a goal or assist every 105 minutes for Los Blancos. And though Vinicius Jr. doesn't have the physicality of peak Bale, the Brazilian is developing into a similar game-breaking talent, combining huge end product with exceptional dribbling ability to push Real towards their 35th Spanish crown. Previously a talented but frustrating wide man, 21-year-old Vinicius is finally getting to grips with La Liga, this year chipping in 17 goals in 19 starts so far and a massive 0.6 xG per 90, third best in the division. But while he's hitting career best shot and key pass numbers, he hasn't lost what made him special, with only Alain Saint-Maximin dribbling past more opponents than him in Europe's top 5 leagues, while nobody has carried the ball into the penalty area more often, and he even leads Real in defensive pressures, bringing a work rate to the role Bale never did. Still years from his peak and potentially joining forces with Mbappe and Haaland next campaign, Vinicius could, like Bale, become part of the world's deadliest front three. 5. Geoffrey Kondogbia, Thomas Partey. Given that Geoffrey Kondogbia has won a title with Atletico Madrid, while Thomas Partey never did, it's tempting to say the former Sevilla man is the club legend, not the Ghanaian. But Partey spent 7 years as a Rocky Blancos player, made nearly 200 appearances and reached a Champions League final, leaving Kondogbia some distance to make up in legacy at the club. However, the Central African has had no trouble filling Partey's boots as Simeone's key midfielder, though he plays the role very differently. He's not quite as frequent a dribbler as Partey, but he's just as good, completing 92% of his take-ons, and his passing isn't key to Atleti, with Rodrigo de Paul taking a key role in advancing the ball. But Kondogbia is simply a massive defensive presence anchoring the side, winning possession nearly 7 times a game, twice as much as any other Atletico player and second in Spain, meaning the club has allowed just 0.8 expected goals per 90 when he's been on the field, a rate which would mean 30 goals conceded over a full campaign. In desire, tenacity and strength, the equal of his manager, Kondogbia is playing the Atletico way, and he's found the best form of his career. 4. Julian Alvarez, Sergio Aguero. An Argentinian forward who cut his teeth in Buenos Aires and now belongs to Manchester City, Julian Alvarez was always going to play in Sergio Aguero's shadow. But the 22-year-old is a different sort of player, and perhaps more to Pep Guardiola's taste. Alvarez has played exactly half his games as a striker and half as a winger, and should fit seamlessly into an attack based around fluid movement and exchanging positions, perhaps more than Harry Kane would have. Alvarez is 6 years older than Aguero was when he came to Europe, but a longer development phase has seen him dominate his domestic league. Leading the line for River Plate, Alvarez was top scorer and league champion in 2021, and according to StatsBomb's data, backed up his 24 goal involvements in 21 games with 0.8 expected goals per 90, ranking in the top 1% of strikers for chance creation and the top 7% for dribbling ability, with just 5 players in Argentina taking more shots and no one getting more on target. Given that Aguero assisted a teammate better than every 5 games at the Etihad, Alvarez fits his mould perfectly. He could be the discovery of 2022. 3. David Alaba, Sergio Ramos. Sergio Ramos' spell with PSG has got off to a rocky start, with the Spaniard boasting more cards than starts so far. But back in Madrid, the team has done surprisingly well without him. Los Blancos' defence may not be outstanding, with 8 sides conceding less XG per 90, but they're still allowing around 1 expected goal a match, Eder Militao and David Alaba gelling nicely in the absence of Ramos and Varane. Though Militao's aggression is reminiscent of the former captain, it's Alaba who has filled the hole left by Ramos. The Austrian is no slouch defensively, with 2.5 tackles and interceptions per game, the same as Ramos last season, as well as matching him on blocks and trailing by just 3% on aerial success, but it's in possession that he makes the difference, doubling Ramos' 3.6 forward carries each match and leading the defence in passes into the final third, with over 4 a game. That's fewer than Ramos' 7 last season, but Alaba has generally been the best in Europe by this metric and is still adapting to a new side under a new coach in a new league. Christening his maiden campaign with a title would be the perfect confidence boost, and a scary portent of what a settled Alaba could look like next term. 2. Gabriel Martinelli, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. With Arsenal gutting the squad in January, there's huge pressure on the first 11 to deliver, and the man feeling that expectation most keenly will be Gabriel Martinelli. A goalscorer who plays off the left, the Brazilian's similarity to the departed Aubameyang is impossible to ignore, and thankfully for the Gunners faithful, he seems worthy of the comparison. After half a season, the 20-year-old has 6 goal involvements to Aubameyang's 5, and in fewer minutes, and his underlying numbers are strong too, with 0.5 xG per 90 higher than Auba's last 3 seasons at Arsenal and 2.7 shots narrowly shy of Auba's best mark of 2.9. But while the Brazilian has a tough task to match his former captain's 300 career goals, he's undeniably more rounded, with 1.7 chances created each match and a one-on-one threat which sees him carry the ball into the penalty area twice a game, in the top 9% of players in his position. His intensity too is exceptional, regaining possession 3.6 times per 90, twice as often as he's dispossessed, and a big factor in Arsenal's huge improvement in the press. Perhaps the most exciting talent in a young side full of them, Martinelli is the club's best hope for the top 4. If he delivers, he'll have achieved something Aubameyang never did. 1. Jamal Musiala, Thomas Müller. With 7 goals and 16 assists in 21 league matches this season, 32-year-old Thomas Müller is showing no signs of slowing down. But as soon as he does, Bayern Munich have a replacement ready to go. That's midfielder Jamal Musiala, a graduate of Southampton and Chelsea's academies, who at under 19 is closing in on a century of appearances for the Bavarians, and this campaign has grabbed 7 goal involvements for 1 every 123 minutes in the Bully. Though able to play wide or deep, 2/3 of Musiala's games have come in attacking mid, and he already stands out statistically from his peers. 0.5 XG a game is close to Kingsley Coman, and among under 20s across Europe's top 5 leagues, he ranks 4th for shots per 90, 3rd for dribbles, and 2nd for key passes, beating his man nearly 4 times a game and creating 2 chances, as well as putting in a huge defensive shift, with the 4th most pressures in Germany and over 5 tackles and interceptions a game, trailing only Upamecano at the Allianz. Already boasting 9 international caps, Musiala could add a Champions League and even a World Cup to his trophy cabinet this year. Müller better start taking his vitamins. So those are 10 players who could replace club legends over the next year, but who do you think has the best chance of going to the top? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, drop us a like and subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and you'll never miss an upload. We'll see you next time.